Usually we don't think of ball security as like an issue for your team today, but what was it about Baltimore that gave you guys trouble in that regard?
Yeah, that was certainly the difference in the game, and it usually is in the NFL. And when you turn the ball over 3 times and don't get any, then your chances of winning aren't very good. And especially when you're playing a team like Baltimore, it's going to be really tough. And we hung in there about as well as you could, turning it over like that, and one of them, in the red area. So just didn't play well enough, clean enough to win tonight.
How difficult is it for you, frustrating-wise? The defense played a pretty good game tonight for you guys, but offensively just wasn't the offensive team that we've seen from you guys tonight.
Yeah, we lost as a team tonight. In a game like that where it's low scoring, where it turns into a defensive game, you got to get one more stop, and that's what we needed to do at the end of the game, is just get one more stop, give Justin one more op, and we weren't able to do it. I thought our defense really competed tonight. I thought we were ready for the challenge, and I thought our guys really played at a high level for most of the game. But we didn't get it done as a team. We didn't go get the ball tonight, and that's what we needed to do on defense to win it. And offensively, we didn't take care enough of the ball to win tonight.
What kind of challenges did they present to you guys in terms of your pass protection, their pass rush? It felt like they were creating a significant amount of pressure tonight.
Yeah, they've got a lot of known rushers. They've got DBs, linebackers who can rush. They've got interior pass rush, edge rush. So they're a very complete unit. And they played the way they played all season. So there weren't any surprises out there. We just didn't execute well enough tonight.
And the hit on Justin on the sideline early, it looked like that was late. Did you get an explanation as to why that wasn't flagged?
I have no comment.
Brandon, it looked like Quentin went to the medical tent and he just came out, was on the sideline for the rest of the game. Was that just your decision, or was he not healthy enough to go back in there?
Yeah, he had an issue with his ribs, and didn't go back in the game.
Was that your decision to not? Was he not healthy enough? I'm sorry, to go back in, or were you just? It just
didn't happen. He didn't go back in the game.
And with the changes you made on defense tonight, were you comfortable with how those guys played? I think Jalen was in there, and Dean was in there.
Yeah, I thought our guys played at a high level. That team had scored 30 points 5 or 6 games in a row, and they got 13 points there until the very end. So. Our guys played at a high level tonight. They were up for the challenge. We need to build off this. But, again, when it becomes a defensive game, you got to get one more stop, and we didn't do that. So we played well, but it wasn't good enough. And, I think us turning the ball over tonight was the story on defense. We weren't able to get one that would get us the momentum and get us another possession. And that was the story.
Just to be clear with Quentin, this was a medical staff decision or a coach's decision?
Yeah, it wasn't that he couldn't go back in the game. It's just we didn't feel like, through the flow of the game with where he was, that it was the right thing to go back in the game.
And then just from your perspective, what happened there on the Zay touchdown at the end of the end around?
Yeah, we're just in a, kind of get the ball back defense, and, they cut back on our guy, and we had, we knew that Lamar was going to be involved in the run game. We took away that aspect of it, and just got beat man on man, on the cutback.
The protection breakdown there on 4th and 6, obviously they brought a blitz there. What did you see there from your
Yeah, they brought a 0, which is what they do, and we just we didn't pick it up well enough and make the right timing, with the route and the quarterback. So, credit to Baltimore. They made the winning plays tonight.
Did you feel like this was the best game the defense has put together up to this point this year?
No, you're not going to say defense played well when you lose. So not good enough for us tonight.
At this point, it's best path, the only path maybe to the playoffs is winning out. Do you agree? Is that?
Our focus is on beating New England. That's where our focus needs to be. The AFC is wide open. It will be to the end like it has been. So the only way that we're going to have a shot is if we beat New England, and that's where our focus needs to go right now.
There are times in this game where you went tempo, no huddle. We saw new wrinkles with the double pass. In those scenarios, did you like what you saw?
Yeah, there were some good things, but just not consistent enough tonight. And I think it really starts with the turnovers, and that's the story of the game. When you turn the ball over 3 times against a team like that, that's the number 1 team in the AFC. It's going to be really tough for you to win. And now we hung tough, and I love that about our guys, and I felt like we were in it to the end. But that's not the way you need to play in a big game.
The 3rd and 6 play call right before the 0 we were talking about, was that a schemed up play for Austin? Like, was that where that ball was supposed to go? And if so, were you Were you okay with that?
Yeah, there was a concept front side and then a kind of a relief for pressure or the right look. So, it was a bang-bang play, and if he catches it, it's probably a first down.
Was the offense hamstrung at all in the second half of that game, considering where you guys are at with skill players? Obviously, Mike and Josh are on IR. Quentin was dealing with whatever he was dealing. Did that hamstring you guys at all in terms of how you were calling it in the second half?
I mean, of course, you have to adjust when guys aren't out there, but, I mean, that's what the NFL is about. You got to make the adjustments.
The versatility of their defense. I mean, Keenan's fumble, it was Clowney and Smith out there, a couple of defensive end and the linebacker, one of the best route runners in the league. Does that add to what they do, just how many guys can play in so many different places and ways, and how they employ their guys?
Yeah, they have a very complete unit. Marlon Humphrey wasn't even out there tonight. So, very complete unit, front seven, back seven. But again, we're right there in the fourth quarter with a chance to win, despite 3 turnovers. And so that's where our season's been. It's been tight, and we just haven't been able to finish some of these games. And that's what we need to keep working at. We need to keep working in all 3 phases in order to, close these games out as a team. It's not going to be one phase doing it. We got to make sure that when it gets tight, that we come alive and make the winning plays. And that's going to be where our focus is.
Considering how many, you just mentioned it, sort of closing out games, how many of these games have been close? Does it sting more to be 4-7, considering how tight?
Yeah, I think Daniel. I think every time, it stings more. Because it means a lot to these guys, and I feel like our guys know the quality that we have, and we just have to hang tough. It's not the popular answer, but it's the right answer. We got to hang tough. We got to keep working at our game in all 3 phases, and if we do that, then you're going to see good football from this team. And like I said, we're going to have to put this one behind us after tomorrow and get on to New England.
What are the key adjustments for New England this week?
I beg your pardon?
What are the key adjustments that you guys need to make?
Well, we'd start with taking care of the football.
Brandon, just since you've gotten here, you talked about sort of establishing that killer mindset. Mm-hmm. To have so many close losses this season in year 3, I mean, why do you think that mentality maybe hasn't materialized with your team and your players?
It hasn't happened there, Daniel. It's obviously a fair question. I think that we have the players who have the makeup and the mindset. It just hasn't come together as a football team yet. It obviously starts with me. I'm fully responsible. But we need to hang in there. And as long as we keep after it the way that we have, coming to the practice field, coming to the meetings the right way, then we'll get the quality that we're after. And again, all we can do is focus on New England and put this one behind us. This was a tough one tonight. And this football team, I've really enjoyed coaching because every time we've had a tough loss, we've come back and we competed. And that's what I expect. I expect us to come back to the practice field on Wednesday, compete, and get ready to go to New England. And if we do that, then we'll have a chance to play a good game and try to get ourselves back in the hunt.
Brandon, there's so many close losses that it's kind of you compare and said kind of similar things about things that went one way, things that went the other way. Do you still feel like your messaging is hitting to people, to the members of this team, and still coming across?
Yeah, otherwise you'd get blown out of the stadium, in one of these games. You'd get blown out of the stadium, and that hasn't happened. We've been tight with the best in the league, and the way we've practiced, you would know, and the way that our guys compete in the game. So we're going to have to continue to make adjustments to close these games out and play a cleaner game in all 3 phases. But this is a close locker room, and they got a lot of pride, and we're going to be tested moving forward, and that's a fact.
How did you feel like Justin played?
Anytime you turn the ball over 3 times as an offense, I don't think anybody played well enough. I thought, as usual, he competes in the game. His legs gave us a big chance. I thought he hung in there. There was a lot of pressure, and he was able to hang tough. But, we just weren't able to get the job done today. And it was a collective group, all 3 phases. But he gave us a chance to win tonight.
Can you measure toughness and explain to us how tough that guy is, the quarterback?
Yeah, you watch it. You're watching the same movie I am, and his ability to hang in there, hang tough in the pocket, overcome, mistakes and still make big plays. We always believe with Justin that we have a chance in the game all the way to the end. He's one of those rare players that gives you that belief, and he just needs to stay with it because he's going to lead us to a ton of these big games, and that's part of playing quarterback in the league. There's going to be ones you knock down. There's going to be ones that you don't. When you don't knock them down, everyone's going to be on you, and that's part of the job, But there's no one that we would rather have with the ball in their hands late in the game than Justin Herbert.